Before you start, make sure you purge all your product from your machine. Disconnect air from machine. Loosen the 3 wing nuts and remove the lid. Set aside for cleaning. Remove thumb screws holding hopper. Undo and remove tri-clamp and remove the hopper, set aside for cleaning. Undo the tri-clamp for removal of the Z-tube, set aside for cleaning. Remove 2 hex head screws to remove the filler nozzle. Unplug the 2 PTC air lines that go into the filler nozzle. Remove pin from the rotary valve and tilt arm out of the way. Loosen the wing nuts. Slide the filler and air cylinder back. Remove piston from cylinder. Snug back up in the recessed location on the mounting bracket. Loosen the keeper bolts for the rotary valve. Back out about halfway, then push the rotary valve out. Loosen the 3 attaching bolts for the rotary valve housing and filler tube. Remove the assembly. Remove O-rings from the rotary valve. Remove tri-clamp from filler tube and rotary valve housing. Remove and retain gasket for washing. Pull apart to reveal O-ring. Remove and retain for cleaning. Reminder, do not submerge air cylinder in water. After cleaning and sanitizing all the food path components, it's time to reassemble. Apply a liberal amount of food safe grease in the 2 grooves. Slide the 2 O-rings into the groove. Make sure all O-rings spin once seated in their grooves. Apply a liberal amount of food safe grease in the 2 grooves flanking the opening in the rotary valve. Make sure all O-rings spin once seated in their grooves. Place O-ring into the front of the rotary valve housing. Apply food safe grease onto the positive shutoff shaft groove. Apply grease in the rotary valve housing where the valve will go. Make sure when holding housing with the inlet port facing away from you that the opening in the valve is the same side as the inlet port. Retighten the keeping bolt. Slide shutoff body back onto the positive shutoff air cylinders. Mount valve body back onto the frame. Put gasket and fill tube in place and secure with tri-clamp. After loosening wing nuts on a mounting bracket, install lubricated piston head onto air cylinder shaft. Slide filler assembly forward, making sure piston is in the filler tube. Tighten bolts. After snugging all down, swing air cylinder back down and install ball grip pin into clevis. Place positive shutoff assembly back onto the front of the valve body. Hand tighten screws. Reinstall air lines into the PTC connections, red to red, blue to blue. Place gasket back on the top of the valve body and replace Z-tube with the tri-clamp. Your supply configuration might be different. Place gasket on top of Z-tube and replace hopper with the tri-clamp. When putting hopper back, make sure you have the mounting holes on the same side as the bracket. Reinstall thumb screws. Go ahead and snug up all bolts on the positive shutoff, but not too tight. and snug up bolts on the valve body. Place hopper lid back and secure.